What's going on, dudes? Fist, and I'm gonna do my up to this point review of Grand Theft Auto 5. Now you probably looked at some of the videos, right? And you're like, Fist, what's up, bro? You're not doing commentaries on Call of Duty, and I'm not getting that many views for this because first of all, I haven't did a real commentary on this game because I'm too busy having fun playing it, and there's some other things like I'm working out too as well, but and the thing is like, I do still love first person shooters, don't get me wrong, and the multiplayer is coming out for this. I mean, this is like an evolution of things that are to come and change, and there's other games that are going to change the landscaping of gaming online multiplayer, for the consoles. And I think that Grand Theft Auto 5 is a little bit behind on, gaming philosophy, but, you have to give them a little bit of leeway because, it took them 5 years to develop the game. I mean, you're looking at a big scale, one map world, blah, blah, blah. So it took them a long time. So you kind of figured they are a little bit behind on the idea and what the direction of multiplayer is going. I wish there was like some things where they would mod certain aspects about the game. And I'm going to talk about online multiplayer that's coming up as well. But I want to get into my channel and, maybe why, I'm not getting the views that I usually get. I mean, obviously I'm not putting the work into it, and I understand that. I'm not putting the work into it. I'm just uploading online, previous gameplay. And, when I'm playing, I don't talk on it, so I understand it's boring. I understand that. But because of the reason that I don't talk in these live sessions of this game is because I have nothing to complain about. Maybe it's because this is the first time that I've actually ever played Grand Theft Auto. I was always like, I don't like those type of games, and I don't want to play it. And this particular game, I wanted to play it because it was the last of its kind, and it took 5 years, and it's last of its kind on this generation of consoles. So I was like, let me look at it and see where they're at, because I love gaming philosophy. That's my thing. I love gaming philosophy and the idea of where online gaming is going, specifically for consoles. So I was looking at, where the story was, and I'm doing my up-to-date review on this, and I'm going to talk about the review on this and, a little bit dabble more into my channel, what we're going to be doing here on this channel, and some other things. So let's go ahead and talk about GTA 5. Now, if you haven't purchased this game yet, which is done over $1 billion in 3 days, and some people say, oh, well, Call of Duty does 800 million every year, every 8 months, and that, if you took 5 years and blah, 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 it'd be more than this game wrapped up in one. Yeah, I understand that. The facts are the facts. It still did $1 billion, which, 5 years, regardless of not, I mean, they do it differently. They're more, if you look at a Call of Duty game, you're always bitching about the game, whereas this is a refined game. I mean, there's no complaints from me. I have no complaints about it. I'm not sitting there and going, oh, my character doesn't do this, or flying an airplane, I can't figure it out, or a helicopter, or driving a car, or stepping on the brakes, or driving a boat. I mean, these are things that are all. This game is finished. When it was released, it was finished to me. You play a Call of Duty game every 8 months, it's like they don't take the ideas from the last Call of Duty, and then they put them in the next, and the game's, always messed up, and you're not happy, you're not satisfied as a customer. And I think this, $1 billion sales in 3 days is showing people that, they are ready to accept a change from Call of Duty. And, and it's how you present yourself on your channel, too. I mean, there's other channels out there. I mean, I'm not pointing to mine because I don't put much effort into it. I haven't even did a commentary over gameplay because I'm too busy having fun playing it, like I said. And when I stream and when I play it, I like to stream it so you guys can see how much I'm involved in it. Now, That's the same thing in business. If you go to a restaurant or something, the only time somebody goes to the manager is to complain about the food. You know, they are like, if you go to a restaurant, you're like, oh, this food is terrible. And you're complaining. I mean, people don't, it's not bitching. There's a problem with the game. I have nothing bad to say about the mechanics of this game. I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, the story is magnificent. This story on this game, now I hate single player. I never play it. I've only played like two other single player, like Dragon Ages 2. I played through that, and maybe a couple other ones. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this game, I'm not even all the way through it, and the characters all have great personalities. They're funny. The story is funny. I mean, Trevor is a comic genius in the story writing of this game. It's hilarious. Even the facial expressions. And I posted where Trevor's like, you know, going off on his little sidekick and his cousin for smoking meth in the house. I thought this shit was hilarious. Go get me a bear! You know, and the facial expressions for this generation, it was great. I mean, those are the things, like, when you play this game and you're playing the story mode, it's the same thing as going to the movie. You know a movie if it's good or bad. Because if the movie's good, you get lost into it. You know, you get immersed into it, and then the next thing you know, you lose track of time, and you're watching the story. Whereas a bad movie is like, oh my god, I mean, you get stop and go, and you get disgusted, and you want to leave the theater, and it's terrible. But that's different. This right here is a great movie. It's a great story. And that's the thing. You get into it, and you start to love the characters. You love the storyline. It's fun. It's not monotonous. You get to switch in between stories. They force you into playing a character story, so you get immersed into it. I like that, where you can't switch off into it until he's like, you know, until you built a base with the person, and then you go forward. Now, some of the other things I thought were really weird about this game, and I don't know if it's just like, you know, we live in a social atmosphere these days is to create controversy, and I don't know if that's a dead horse or what it is. But, you know, they go on and on and on about in this game where they throw all these messages to you about gay rights, sexual orientation, religion, constantly, the government, corporations. The main theme behind every one of these storylines, or not storylines, but you know, oppression from the church, oppression from, you know, sexual orientation, oppression from corporations. You know, it's funny, like, they like try to give you a message in this game, all through the game, about breaking these certain type of, you know, how you're being mind controlled. You know, like Fame and Shame is a show that copies X Factor, and you know how ridiculous it is how people fall for this shit. You know, it's funny to me how the game makes fun of it in saying that you're being oppressed. Open your mind, and that's the theme behind their messages. You know, they'll throw these messages out here. You know, conspiracy about aliens constantly. You know, this is, you know, they feed into the conspiracy theories of being oppressed, and there's aliens out there, and you'll get all of this in here. But the funny part about all that is that they'll tell you to wake up from all the suppression. You know, sexual orientation, religion, you know, being fed by corporations, shows on TV that are ridiculous, the theory of aliens that are controlling you, or whatever it is. And then what they'll do is they'll constantly want to oppress you into their game by constantly pushing the marijuana on you. You know, that's the only bad thing I got to say about this game, is that the message, because it's a contradicting message in this game, I say the only reason they're doing it is because of sales. And that's pretty obvious. Like, they're riding the bandwagon on all the oppressions to, you know, what everybody else is saying in society, to, you know, we're riding on the bandwagon, so we're not the bad guy. The major fence riding on the game's messages. And then it turns around, it's like smoke weed every day, bongs, pot, and then you'll hear people like walking in the game like, it's 420 somewhere in the world, and it's like constantly, it's constantly oppressing you to smoke weed, and when you smoke weed and you're playing this game, then you're going to be stuck in a trance where you're not going to stop playing this game. So it's funny to me that they'll jump on the bandwagon for all the oppressions and try to break them, but at the same token, they'll want to oppress you into a mind trance in the smoking weed to keep playing their game. You know what I mean? If you see that, what I see, and maybe you're going to sit there in the comments, yeah, Fish, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. Go ahead. Go and play the game, and you'll constantly see it. Go to the movies where you'll see the story about, and the funny thing about the story is, one of the stories that you'll see is you'll go in the theater, and there'll be this story, and it's in French or Spanish, and they make you, because it's in French or Spanish, and if you're American, and I don't know if this is different for other countries, and it could be in English in other countries, and then they translate it in the captions, but they make you read the story, which I found was very fascinating. It's almost the same way that they force you to play certain storylines, so that way you'll get into it. And when you're watching the movie, you're like, this movie is terrible, and you're watching it, but then you start reading the words, and then you're looking at the story, and then they capture you that way. And the story, I don't want to break the story, but it's a story about a guy who is a woman beater, and it was funny. It's a white guy, and it's a black woman painted her face white, and it's about a guy that doesn't abuse a woman, but about a guy who is a sexist, and he's all about sex. And anyways, the bottom line of the story is that she was like, oh, there is no real God. It's just the way they keep people down, and the reason why you're sexist is because you are gay. And then that's like you're getting in touch with your feminine. And I'm like reading all this, and I'm like, look at this, look at this mind game they try to fuck you on, And I'm like, it's all contributed to like, get high, and then a bunch of scenes where side stories where they're psychedelic. You could be smoking, and it's really weird, and it's always, anytime it gets psychedelic, aliens have something to do with it. So I don't understand. That's the stuff. It's just funny. The message in the game is a lot of oppression, and we're riding the bandwagon on that. But we're gonna oppress you, and you're gonna smoke weed and play our game and get stuck playing it and keep playing it. So I thought that was very interesting. Their philosophy and psychology in this game. These guys are smart. They know how to hold you playing their game mentally, and I thought that was very interesting. And being a first-time GTA player, thoroughly. I dabbled in it, but I really didn't, play it as much as I played this. So I haven't got into all of that, and I'm like, I think I'm like a 3/4 way through the story, and I'm gonna give a full review of the story. To this point, it's really good. The game mechanics are flawless. I enjoy the mechanics of the game are great. I understand why they gave this game a 10 out of 10. Because here's the thing about this game, and the difference between this franchise by Rockstar and Call of Duty. The difference is that when you look at, and the graphics are great. Cover all the mechanics and the visuals and all that. They're great. Now, for this generation. Now, what I want to say with why this game is better than Call of Duty is the gaming philosophy hasn't changed. The psychology is superb in how to capture that audience and drag you in, whether it be a political message or entertainment. Also, it seems to me like these guys, they care about their game. You could see the craftsmanship in this art of this game is amazing comparative to a Call of Duty game that's been made every 8 months. And people say, well, that's the reason why. They didn't make it in 5 years. Well, listen, you have a studio that never takes, Call of Duty studios never take what they've made from the last game and bring it to the next game. They always leave out a lot of stuff from the old game, and then it goes to the new game, and it's just like, what the fuck happened? What'd you guys do? But here's the main selling point. The reason why this game, and it's not, listen, it could have been 10 years to develop this game. The reason why this game did $1 billion in 3 days, it's not because of 5 years, because the game could have fucking sucked and nobody would have bought it. The reason why this game did $1 billion in 3 days, $1 billion is $1 billion, is because it was simple. Simplicity. They didn't go off into a wild tangent like Activision and its Call of Duty series, like the Battlefield and its Battlefield series. This stayed true to its form. That's why it did what it did. Now, can you imagine if Call of Duty stayed to its form and improved on every game from that point forward? It's the same thing as not releasing the game in 5 years as this game being released. You know, if you take and improve on a game every year, then it should be better than the next. And the improvements should have been made from that game. Instead, you take stuff away and you add stuff, and it's completely different, and then people have to readjust, and then, you know, it's frustrating. So that's why this game is a great game. It's simplicity. You take it from your last game, which everybody's saying, oh, it's just like GTA 4. Now look at it. I'm a completely new player. A completely new player that can pick this game up. And this is the 5th version. And it's great to me. Now, can you imagine a new Call of Duty game? A new person can't pick up a new Call of Duty game. They'll get cut their ass kicked online. Destroyed. This game, no. It's what Call of Duty used to be. Simplistic, improvement on the last version, and that's why people enjoy it. You know, here's the problem with Activision and EA. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat was a great game. They totally scrapped the idea, went to Battlefield 2, bad company. And how are you changing that? Same thing with Mortal Kombat. You went from 5 buttons and adding a run button. Shrank the characters. Franchise, Midway went into foreclosure, bankruptcy, and then they was reborn because of Warner Brothers, you know, and Ed Boon, because they want to make movies off of that franchise. That's why the only reason that game came back. That's a sideshow comparative to, you know, the movie franchise. But did you understand the point? Look at Capcom and Street Fighter. It's never changed. It's been proved on. And look at it. It's huge. EVO. It's fucking crazy. One of the largest events watched around the world. Tokyo Game Show. This is one of the biggest exhibitions by Mad Catz. Listen, that's the thing. People in gaming love simplicity. They love improvements on the last version. And you take gaming history and you look at any game in the past and why it was successful, and that's the reason why. Now you look at Battlefield's franchise. I mean, it's changed more shorts than Britney Spears on stage or whatever. I don't fucking know. Miley Cyrus. You've done more pills than you did 50,000 different Miley Cyrus pills. Molly popping. You don't even know what the fuck your name is. You don't have an identity. And see, that's the same mistake that Call of Duty's making right now. Call of Duty is changing drastically more every game now, and has to spend more advertising dollars to capture the audience from the previous game. And they're reaching for straws. Or we're gonna add the slide, we're gonna add the lean, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Guess what? You know, your game's gonna be marginal at best. I mean, if you had just improved 5 years on your own game, you know, I mean, Battlefield, if Battlefield would have improved on their game from Battlefield 2 on consoles, there would be no Call of Duty. Period. I'll tell you that now. Unfortunately, they've changed Battlefield 3 times on the console. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, Battlefield 2 Bad Company, the Bad Company series, the Modern Combat series, and now Battlefield, whatever this is called, Battlefield 3, and now we're going to Battlefield 4. We've changed 4 times. We've changed the game 4 times. So every time you change the game, you lose the previous people who've played your version, and they're not going to be able to. They're not going to get it, nor will they try. Human nature is to walk through a door that's open than to walk through a door that's closed. That's just who we are. And the thing about Call of Duty, it's doing the same exact mistake as the Battlefield series now. You know, you're having games that started out as Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2 was an upgrade, and now the rest of the games are just totally turned into, it's not Call of Duty anymore. It's the same philosophy as Activision do what they're doing to their series. You're just throwing a Call of Duty name on it. It's not Call of Duty. You should be spinning off those names and doing different series in the spring and bringing it and saying, well, this is a different game. Call of Duty something something. Instead of keep trying to change the name and spending $2.2 billion. I mean, you're almost at 50% debt ratio of your game. I mean, you're spending $2.2 billion to capture $4 billion. So you're only making 50%. You're only making 50 cents on the dollar. Man, you know that this fucking game did not spend $2.2 billion on advertising to make $1 billion. You know that. So anyways, I hope you understand this commentary. And on my channel, I'll try to do more commentaries. I understand that you guys want to hear my voice over the commentaries. You don't want to just watch live gameplay with a bunch of shit on the screen. I apologize for that. I wouldn't want to watch it either. I'm sorry for that. And I'll try to bring you more commentaries. It's just that I'm a real gamer. And I want you guys to experience what I'm experiencing. I want to tell you about the game. I'm just having fun and enjoying playing it. I understand there's people out there that are doing YouTube videos because they're making money. That's what they do. I mean, I don't live off of YouTube. I'm just a true gamer that, you know, I just happened to got on YouTube in 2006 and they wanted to give me money to make videos. Sure, why not? And I'm always going to be opinionated and say what I want to say and do what I want to do. And then, you know, whether it's views or not views. I mean, if I wanted views, I mean, I'm just continuously post Call of Duty and post on Respawn Entertainment. I would post on Machinima Respawn and have people come from there to see my channel. And I would never say anything bad. And I would always ride the fence on everything. But no, I mean, I can't do that to you guys. I can't be like, oh, I'm going to hype up a game that I don't like. And I always said that. If I like a game, I like a game. And I'll tell you I like a game. It's not because everybody else is playing the game. If I didn't like this game, I would tell you this game was bad. But this game is great. You know, I mean, if you can get past all the mind fucking in this game, you're good. I mean, play for what it is. It's great. So I hope you enjoyed this commentary or this review, sort of. And I'm gonna do. If you want to see more, I know it's kind of long, but I had a lot of stuff to say. And I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna do a GTA commentary. I know you guys want to see one. I'll do a proper commentary. How I feel about the mechanics, and, you know, I mean, just every video, like I do on Call of Duty videos. But like I said, I'm having too much fun playing it, and that's probably wrong on my side. I should have been a little bit more sensitive. But like I said, I'm not really living off this channel. It's not, you know, I enjoy playing it when I get to you guys, and I'll like throw a commentary. But I'm definitely gonna be playing Battlefield 4. When the demo drops October 1st, so you'll see a lot of commentaries on that. I'm going to try to play multiplayer on this. It's going to be awesome multiplayers coming up on this thing. You know, you're going to be able to create your own game modes and design them. I think that's fascinating for the future of the idea of this game. It's very, hopefully those things will be added into the game. I think that's very fascinating. I will be doing Battlefield 3, and then or Battlefield 4, and I will be getting Ghost, and I will be getting the Xbox One. So, I will see you here on this channel, and I'm probably gonna do, I think I'm gonna do Battlefield for Respawn, because the reason I want to do it for there is because I think I'm pretty good and technical about Battlefield. It depends. If I like the game, then I'll continue to play it. If I don't like it, then I'll just drop it and I'll go to Ghost. So I'm fascinated in the gaming ideas and the philosophy. And maybe someday down the road, when I decide to, like you decide you want to lose weight, then I'll decide to make my own game. And I think I could do a pretty good job. And I know what people want. So until next time, it's your boy Fist. Peace. I'm out.